All right.
Welcome to Q-SYS VisionSuite.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Jacob. I will be your tour guide for the remainder of the experience. And this is the first room that we're going to kind of showcase. This is our VisionSuite room, where we are kind of envisioning it as an all-hands space or a training room, right? In rooms like these, we have an audience, the people who are here for the information, and then we have lecturers, guest speakers, people that are just here to provide that information. But they're usually not all that technically savvy. They don't want to walk into a room where the lights are dimmed and their microphone is not working and the displays aren't on. That's going to make them panic, forget everything they're supposed to tell you, the audience. So it'd be really great if we had some way to automate all of that, turning everything
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yeah, just you and me, Jeff. Just you and me. All right, so what did we just see there other than me acting like a complete fool? Well, when I stepped into this space, the lights turned on, the displays are on, my microphone is on, and now, again, I do not have to worry about all of that. I can just worry about providing you the information that I need to and what you're here for. And that is all thanks to VisionSuite and the power of our AI accelerators. So, this is all vision-based automation. I'm going to kind of break down all the different pieces of the room that are helping allow us to do this. And the first thing that I want to talk about is our NC series cameras. You're probably very familiar with them, right? Power over the network. One cable is going to give you that power, control, and the video. And then with the USB bridging, you're able to take that and connect that to any UC platform that you would like. In rooms like these, you're usually working with some sort of UC platform. We are, in fact, doing that as well. Now, we are platform agnostic, which means that you could connect with Google Meet or Zoom, but in this case, we're actually using Microsoft Teams. And this here is the Microsoft Teams touch panel, where you would be controlling the call, maybe whatever you're sending to the far end, in this case, the remote audience. But we also have something here, which is the second page experience on their touch panel. If we select that, that's actually going to, on the same pane of glass where you are controlling the call, we can give them room controls. This is actually a Q-SYS UCI that's served up to the touch panel. They don't know they're moving away from Microsoft to Q-SYS in this case. We kind of set it up to look like their platform. But here, instead of having to go to different points of the room to find all the controls to turn on the lights or maybe lower the shades if we had any, we could do it here, moving the cameras about, maybe changing up the lighting a little bit, or the shades. We could also use Q-SYS Reflect to have help desk information sent. If there was something wrong, we could send that information over the cloud to get some help about something. Now, normally we would have something like the air conditioning isn't working, please send help. In this case, we're trying to have a little bit of fun at a trade show, so we have some cliches here. I do see somebody has some very, very nice shoes, so I'm going to say you have the best shoes at the trade show. You are very well dressed. I'm going to say you're sharp dressed. Anybody here have their boss with them? Nobody? I do. I'm going to say I was voluntold to be here. Okay, so I can send that information.
Don't worry, friends. Help is on the way.
I can send that information along, maybe have somebody help us out. Now, that's all well and good for helping me, the person kind of taking care of the room, but what about everyone else in the room? What about the people on the far end? We want to make sure they're all having the best experience as well. So, what we want to worry about at this point is the audience. They have questions, they have conversations, there's a back and forth, and we want to make sure they're showcased, engaged, and that's engaging the remote end. We can do that with
Audience switching enabled.
So here what we're going to try and do is make sure that when somebody in the audience is speaking, they're picked up, and the camera will focus on them and send that to the remote end. But we want that conversation to be a back and forth, and we can do that, right, Jeff?
That's totally correct. As I lose my voice and it comes right back to me, one of the things that you'll notice as you watch that screen is that the microphone in the sky senses and presents the positional data to the Q-SYS control engine to make the video switch.
That's right, and then if I start speaking over here, the same thing is going to happen. It's going to pick up my location, and then now I am featured on the far end as well. What you didn't see was the movement of that camera, right? Because we're using a primary and secondary camera. That first camera was focused on Jeff, but when it picked up me and my audio, that secondary camera moved over, and once it caught the right preset, that's when it sent that image to the far end. So again, they didn't have to see all of that back and forth seasick movement of the cameras swinging across the room. So That means we've engaged the audience and the far end with that camera setup, but let's go back to the presenter as well. Right now, you're seeing a pretty far, wide shot of the presenter, and if, I don't know, if you have a lecture that's 2 hours or so, I don't care how crazy I am, but if you're watching this remotely, you're gonna be bored and fall asleep. So maybe we can help with that using
Presenter Spotlight enabled.
Presenter Spotlight. Okay, so what you just saw is the camera actually kind of crop me in much closer, but I move around a lot. So what's really nice about this is we are using AI to predict where I am going to be next. So this camera is going to follow me about the room. That's awesome because now, again, I can move around, I can get free from this podium, and the far end is still seeing me in a nice intimate shot. Well, this is what the system is seeing over here, 16 points of telemetry all across my body and yours, but it's tracking me because I'm in the tracking zone. But what that means is not facial recognition. I can turn around and start writing on the blackboard, and it's still gonna continue following me. And that's great. It's nice to be able to have that control, that automation, not have to have somebody moving that around. But what's really great about that is using that location, that data, to be able to control parts of the room and automate that. You may have noticed as I'm walking around that the light behind me, this green one, is following me. This is not choreographed. We are sending this data to DMX so that we can control this light and make me look radioactive like I'm going to gain superpowers sometime soon. If only. That's cool, but is it useful? I don't really know. But what is useful is we can actually set up more trigger zones. We used that earlier at the very beginning, but I want to show you in a bit more detail. This purple rectangle right here is a trigger zone. And if I move into that zone, what's going to happen is you're going to see the far end's going to get a different shot now. We just dimmed the lights. We have a spotlight now here on this blackboard because this is the important information. We switched to a static cam, and now I can present here. The far end can see this, and they're not seeing the camera move as I move as it was earlier. But then if I move back into that tracking zone, it will seamlessly switch back and continue tracking me across the stage. So I don't have to worry about any of that. I can move wherever I need, set it up to give myself confidence to give you the best presentation possible. Now, I have one other thing I want to show you.
Display activated.
I've now activated these two displays with the same kind of trigger zone. Now, this is actually how we did all of it with VisionSuite Designer. Up here, you're creating the room, bringing in the cameras, the microphones, the furniture, and setting up that space the way that you would like it. Then you're printing out these QR codes, putting them all over the room. And once you have the room set up, you center the cameras onto those, and then that's going to configure the room into a 3D live model right here. And you can see actually that orb up there, that's person 8867. That is my middle name. I don't know how it figured that out, but that is actually me. That is taking the audio and video locational data and saying, yep, you're the speaker right there. And as I move around, you can see that the orb also moves about. And we're able to do everything we need with that locational data to help create a room that reacts to the people in it and actually plans out the way that they need to present. It's all taken care of with the power of VisionSuite VSA 100 AI Accelerator.